equipment, materials, or preventive measures that protect people from injury, damage, or threat. This consists of various physical and conceptual defense strategy and instrument to reduce risk and protect people. This can be mental or physical. The aim of Amour can be protection to reduce risk and protect people and communities from various dangers and challenges. Physical equipment such as body armor, combat helmet, and shield, and internal tactics such as emergency planning aim to prevent harm and damage in a complex world. Armor and other forms of protection are indispensable for use in context of military activities. The impacts of enemy attacks can be reduced by using ballistic resistant materials into combat helmet, body armor, and ballistic armor. This, in turn, reduce the risk of injury to soldiers and increase the chance of successfully completing their mission. Body armor, and in all its iterations, has evolved into formidable countermeasure that serve as a shield against the firearm inflict in combat. This armor serves as a defense against the dangers of battlefield. It is a concrete deception of the constant determination that humans have to adversity and protect themselves, even if it in the middle of night. War is more than just a chapter in history. They are also the driving force behind technological progress. With advanced manufacturing process, explosive, reactive armor, composite material, and the past 30 to 40 years, armor system has improved significantly, according to Hazel 2022. In addition, the armor is also essential piece of equipment for police and other law enforcement authorities. It police and it protect law enforcement officers from incoming gunfire and any other dangers that may encounter in the course of their duties. When faced with potentially dangerous situation, law enforcement agencies use protective equipment in addition to officer own personal protection. This help ensure that both officer and the citizen remain safe. The endless search for the more efficient method of consequence and defense has been the main driver behind the relentless evolution of weaponry throughout the age. The need for protective coating proves enough to withstand the blunders. Modern weaponry has increased along with the potential and lethality of weapons today. The urgent needs to survive on the battlefield give rise to development of armors, which have evolved in lockstep with the ever-evolving capability of contemporary weaponry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuansha binti Faisal, number matrix 2220641. Next, I will be continuing with the history of evolution of armor and protection. So basically, armor and protection was first created in order to lessen an impact from small guns or even knife. But it also reflects the importance of a person in the social group, which is their social status compared to the other. For the next point is, so basically the evolution happens due to the increasement of their in terms of material. As time passes, there shall be an evolution in terms of material regarding the armor and protection. For example, at first we uses rhinoceros horns, and then as time passed by, we started to use iron, fiberglass and stuff. Therefore, in terms of evolution, mostly it's really regarding their material. Third of all, as we all know, for example, the law in Malaysia, there used to be a lesser amount of law in Malaysia, but as time passed by, the law suddenly increases and more specific to something, and that also can be related in terms of armor and protection. For example, during the old days, there used to be a lesson types of sharp or even small guns, but as time passed by, there is more specific and plenty of other guns that were created in terms of their capability to be durable enough with the sharp object or material that criminal has been using nowadays. So in the slide, I will be pointing out top 4 main of armor that has been used in the past few years. Which is the first one is the Chinese armor, which is first created and being used during the 11th century before Christ. It is made out of rhinoceros leather, and the Chinese military will basically use about 5 to 7 layers of it to increase their durable of a sharp object. Meanwhile, for the next one, I will be pointing out the German armor, which is first launched and used during the 16th century. So basically, if you take a look at the diagram, at the figure, there's basically a lot of pieces, which including from the top of your head and up until the end of your toes. And this armor, in my opinion, is the best during the past year's armor, because inside all of the layers of iron, there is a mine. So basically, in the early 16th century, there was before the German first launches this armor, there basically another armor which is called the mail, which they kind of look like a net, but at some point, if the sword or anything that's sharp enough, they can actually torn apart the net shaped material, the net shaped iron. Therefore, to increase their durable, they must first use the mail inside of the iron that the German armor have created, and then use the German armor as the outer layer to maximize their durable tolerance to it. Small guns or even knife or sword during that days. So a few stories that you can basically see those types of material being used during the wars is, for example, Merlin. There's a character named Prince Arthur and also Merlin during the wars, or even Robin Hood. Yes, they uses those type of armor. So therefore, I think you can enhance your knowledge based on the movies. And okay, going through the third armor, which is called Armor of Inflate Lewis, that was used by Prince of Asturias during the 17th century. This type of material is basically, same goes to the Chinese one, it is basically made out of rhinoceros leather, but this one is a heavier type of material. To increase their durable function, they kind of thicken the leather of the rhinoceros skin, but as time passed by, they basically stopped wearing it because due to the thickness of the leather, it kind of hardened the soldier mobility, because it's quite heavy, to be honest. So you can just imagine during the war, how do people manage to carry such heavy stuff? Meanwhile, they're also wearing a heavy clothing. Therefore, it is such a cons to be wearing such armor. And as for the last one is the full set of interceptor armor, which is the current one. But I just attach the army version of it. But there's also we basically call it as FSMO2. So the function is quite similar, but this type of armor basically is more lighter and durable, and also it doesn't require that many layers compared to the all these that they use the typical rhinoceros leather type of skin. Therefore, I think this is the best, and so far it managed to save a lot of life. Not only it is being used by the military, but it is also being used by other law enforcement agencies such as the police nowadays, to maximize their protection, to go on with their duty to save the citizen. As for the next slide, you can basically see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 types of evolution that has been evolving worldwide. But as I stated before, I will only point out the 4 main evolution that has been used by the worldwide. Therefore, you can see the evolution based on the picture. Therefore, I won't be elaborating as much. That's all for me, and thank you. Next, I will let Alia Maisara continue. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Alia Maisara binti Udin, metric number 2220647. Today I'm going to talk about the type of armor protection. Okay, so we classify the armor protection into three categories. The first one is the combat helmet, second was body armor protection, third was bomb suit armor protection. So for the combat helmet, this helmet known as a bulletproof helmet or ballistic helmet. It's a piece of personal armor designed specifically to protect the head during the combat. So like in the picture, we put the tactical helmet model, model S1610. It comes with a feature like shield, liner, inner liner, suspension, retention, and face shield. So fiberglass partial coverage shield with a multiple layer impact absorbing material. Okay, the third picture was model S1712 ballistic helmet. It comes with the feature that manufactured with state-of-the-art advanced high-strength multi-layer composite. So like it's having an ultra comfort pad like system like antifungal, heat and moisture wicking, thermal regulating fabric lining, and fire retardant. Okay, the third helmet was Stedham M42. It's steel helmet used by Nazi German. It provides a protection against the sharpened and fragment of shot of grenade. So this helmet first issued in 1942. Okay, the fourth helmet was integrated heat protection system. It's the United States Army newest combat helmet. It intended to eventually replace the advanced combat helmet. Combat helmet and enhanced combat helmet. Its first issue in 2000. Okay, for the body armor vest. Body armor vest known as a bulletproof or ballistic vest. It helps absorb and reduce the impact from the combating or anything that harm the user. So it usually worn by police officer, correctional officer, security guard, and some regular citizen. So for the first body armor, it's a concealed armor protection. It's designed to be worn under the street clothes or uniform. It's provide a protection at the front, back, side, and the torso. So for the second picture was a full body armor protection. Okay, so it usually worn by a military as a full body armor. It covers most of the body, such as a helmet and protection for the arm and leg. For the third picture was a bulletproof military plate carrier. It's lighter and more comfortable than the full body armor vest. It can hold soft and hard armor plate to provide a different level of protection required. It's also popular choice for the military and police services and especially in the law enforcement. For picture was a body armor for women. It comes with a better protection and wearability for female staff. It has a torso modeling according to the cup size of a woman. Okay, for the third is a bomb suit armor. Okay, for bomb suit armor, it protects all parts of the body, deflecting or stopping projectiles and critically reducing blast wave forces by the bomb effect. It's a specialist operator need EOD advanced bomb disposal suit for the reconnaissance and rendering bombs and IED safe. So like in the picture, it was safe for advanced EOD suit. It's usually worn during like if we have like bomb threat, yeah, it used for it. Okay, so the next is a different threat level for the armor. This different threat level was recognized by the NIJ. So there is 5 level of different threat. So for the level 1, 2, and 3 typically for the soft armor, and for level 5 and for level 4 and 5 are typically for the hard armor.
Now we will proceed to the importance of armor nowadays. Royal Malaysian Police are dedicated to prevent and protecting the public. Director of the Crime Prevention and Community Safety Department, Datuk Zainal Abidin Kasim said, the reflective bulletproof vest level 2 with anti-stab jacket is able to provide the protection from stabbing sharp tools such as knife and ballistic protection against shot from a caliber 9mm bullet. It also provides protection against stabbing from sharp tools, in addition to being able to reverse the light as a protector from members on duty at night or when it's dark. The vest will be given to the station according to the priority, such as Johor will get 100 units because of the large contingent which is at high risk, such as Kuala Lumpur, Selangor and Penang. There are some contribution of armor that give benefits such as protection to the civilian. Example of the case is when the president of Venezuela being attacked by the drone while giving speech at military parade held in Caracas to celebrate the National Guard's 81st anniversary on August 4, 2008. When the drone exploded for the first time, all the bodyguards quickly surrounded the president to protect him using the bulletproof shield, and from the action, they actually saved the president from getting injured from the second drone that exploded. The quick action by the bodyguard should be praised because they know actually what they should do in order to stop the next case is quite similar to the first case, where the former Prime Minister of Japanese, Shinzo Abe, being shot by the assassin using a handmade gun. This incident happened in July 8, 2002 on Nara Street. Actually, the bodyguard can save the president from being killed, but they have made a wrong step, which is they tend to capture the assassin rather than they protect the president. The 2.5 second between a missed first shot can twist up everything. So from Shinzo Abe case, we can see that the president didn't have much protection on him, such as he didn't even wear a bulletproof vest as a protection while in public. Other than that, the lack of thinking from the bodyguard also tend to be one of the reasons that peacefully speech turned into the bloody incident.
Hello, my name is Karen Lee Evangeline Anak Doni. My matric number is 2220634. And now I'm going to talk about the conclusion. So, moving on to the first conclusion is that armor and protection can protect the person who is wearing it from a projectile or a weapon attack. And this armor and protection can help the wearer from avoiding a major threat, damage, or also a major injury towards their body that can avoid from them losing their life. And moving on, not only human can wear armor or protection, vehicles and animals too can use armor and protection for the sake of protection too. And usually the armor and protection are used during the combat operation. Example, the police officers from the militaries, they use it to protect themselves, and it is very important for them to use them because their work is very risky. As you all know, they go to the field and face danger situation. So the armor and protection is very important because the armor especially can absorb impacts of an object such as ammunition that tends to penetrate towards the armor that someone is wearing. It is also known that by wearing an armor, it can stop a penetration attack from a melee weapon such as sword, karambit, and knife, and is also known as a stabbing attack. And moving on, the downside of wearing an armor is that armor tends to be heavy and it can create burden, and besides, it can affect the range of motion of an individual who is wearing an armor. Moving on, by wearing a body armor, it can give the individual who is wearing it an extra layer of protection. And lastly, it is really recommended for the civilians to think about it and for them to purchase a NIJ level 4 rather than a level 3A protection as a body armor that can protect them during their daily life, going out to a crowded place without being worried about their safety too much because they already have a protection they need. And that's all from me. Thank you.